water as a pipe system or a channel, or it can absorb water like a sponge. And it includes these features that are listed here. So it's really the natural system in those parts of our urban system that pass water through it or provide an opportunity for natural life. And we see this in the context of Edirne in a relationship between your region, the city itself, and the neighborhoods and districts and sites within that. So this links a very broad setting for Edirne, right down to the details, as Jim was saying, of a cut in a curb that allows water to flow into a trench that might irrigate a tree. When we put this together in the context of Edirne's situation, the green infrastructure, including those 4 topic areas that I mentioned, are interrelated in an overall system as described. The methodology that we used was to compile the maps and data that were available to us and to make specific visits in the field to look at some of the water management systems, including the stormwater pumping system, the levees, of course the bridges and the river itself. Having a chance to see those who use the river for fishing and recreation, and obviously its passage along there for people for commerce. We consulted with officials, as we said, and we collaborated amongst our group in several cycles of understanding to bring a fairly vast amount of information down to a few core recommendations. So what we would like to do is sort of put a large umbrella over this and give you a concept by which you might be able to review the information that will be presented to you by my colleagues. And we call this sort of 3 big moves. 3 big things that you can do in the city to create a sense of context for your city and relate this green infrastructure to your heritage resources. So here we see Edirne in its setting with its rivers and roadway system. And we start with the first of the 3 moves, which is to consider the blue corridor a habitat corridor, a recreation corridor, and understand its challenges as a floodway corridor. But this becomes part of a larger system. We're aware of those river elements, and we know that you're already considering some projects along there, such as the recreation associated with a hydroelectric project. But the second part here is to link your rivers, which are well known, to the surrounding belt of agriculture and open space and institutions that lie within the bypass highway around the city. And this we refer to as a green belt, and it's a combination of habitat areas, which will be enough natural, agricultural areas, which allow your tradition of agriculture to continue, some of the institutions that are there, and other compatible uses. This creates a link around your city which might provide a natural limit for growth, or a guide, I should say, for growth, but also provide a focus and an amenity for the neighborhoods that extend around the outside of the community that don't have the benefit of either the river or the historic city center. The last of this is what we refer to as the riverfront revitalization, which is to look at the entire riverfront area and those communities along that river edge to see opportunities to revitalize those and recognize their former connection to the river prior to the construction of the levee, the challenges that they face today, and the opportunities that they might have for additional population or better accommodating those who are there in relationship to what is a very significant recreational and visual resource. At the top of the image here is a cross-section that extends from the palace over across the river to the island and the major bridges. And it recognizes the discussions of views as we see from the rivers and bridges into the city, the passage of water beneath the city by way of the aqueducts and the Sinan system, as well as the district along the river, which could be revitalized in the future. And it frames the city in a halo or an umbrella of open space and natural environment that might provide a quality of life amenity for those who live around it. So we then conducted a series of opportunities and issues that we discussed, and I'll turn to my colleague, Paşa, to continue.
My apologies. Translator, hire. We're going to take 5 minutes break. Tercümanlarımızı unuttuk. Yoruldular. 5 dakika istiyorlar. 5 dakika sonra devam edeceğiz. 5 minutes break. Come back. 5 minutes.